Okay, welcome to our CMXJ NiteLite, and actually my first guest today is first interview, in fact, for CMXJ NiteLite is Christine Kastner, and she's a military brat just like I am, and she wrote about her experiences here on Okinawa, and the book's entitled "Soldiering On: Finding My Homes." You can get it at Amazon, or use. Where do you buy this?
You can order from me on my website, or you
Mhm.
can order through Amazon.com,
Mm-hmm.
authorhouse.com, or barnesandnoble.com.
I see.
It's available in hardcover, softcover, and ebook.
Oh, excellent.
Everything.
So nowadays, with modern technology, we can actually find out. And I think that just recently, I just discovered all the Facebook pages with military brats on it, including my school, Taipei American School. But with Christine, she talks about her time in the, what was this, the 60s? And
Early 60s.
Early 60s.
Yeah.
And so I read through parts of this book, and I thought it was very interesting to see, I'm living on Okinawa, so to see all the changes, especially the pictures. I'm very interested in the pictures in this book. Fantastic imagery, and that we're actually looking for her home here in Okinawa when she was visiting. Anyway, I'm going to interview Christine now. I'm going to shut up and let Christine talk, and we'll talk about the book first of all. So Okinawa in the 60s, that was really interesting time, wasn't it? From what I can understand, historically speaking, there were, they wanted to revert back to Japan.
Well, apparently they did, and we didn't realize what was really going on. There were all these groups of people gathered outside the military gates.
Oh, okay.
Chanting, holding
protesting.
signs, protesting. I had no idea what was going on as a kid. We'd drive by, and I'd say, what's happening? And he'd say, it's just a bunch of commies. So,
Yeah.
essentially,
oversimplified everything.
Don't ask any more questions.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, your memories of Okinawa, like you were only 12, so.
I was 12 when we got here, and about 15 when we left.
Oh, okay.
So those were
Okay.
formative years.
Yes.
I had good memories.
I think that defines a brat. Actually, the time they spend their teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
In an area,
Right.
whether you would be an Okinawan brat because you spent those key years in Okinawa. Whereas maybe if someone else would be a German brat if they spent those key years in Germany.
Right. They're your formative years, and I think it's school, it's your friends, it's the music, it's the era.
Right.
Those
Even
are
in your book, you talk about you talk about Germany a little bit. Your dad stationed.
Yeah. Well, I started kindergarten in Germany.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
Those memories. I was just a tiny kid.
Okay.
So.
And so, actually, you remember Kubasaki with Found Memories.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah, because I was older. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when we went back there to visit, what did you think about Kubasaki? Did it change much?
No, the actual buildings didn't change much, I didn't think. And the library and the cafeteria and the gym, they were still where they were. We wandered through the hallways, and it was fun to go back and see things from my past,
Okay, that's great. It's always good to look at our high school things.
Yeah.
And, of course, the book is called Soldiering On: Finding My Homes, Memoirs of an Army Brat.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, of course, when you called me and we were on Bradcom,
Right.
And I called into the States, it kind of made me want to find this house that I saw.
Well, you offered.
Yeah, and on page.
I expected you to deliver.
Right, and I thought it was interesting. 152. Is it?
Yeah, I have a picture of the house in there.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and hold it there. There it is. The house. Actually, one of my Okinawan friends said that Cadillac his father used to drive too.
No, it was a 57.
Is
the
it?
57 Plymouth.
Plymouth.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
57
Oh, okay.
Plymouth.
All right.
The kind of car that Stephen King made famous. In
Really?
Christine, the book Christine.
Oh no!
My mom was driving a scary car. Yeah.
But I thought the pictures were very interesting. There's you and your brothers, and so I ran out like this whole week was raining.
Right.
I ran out to find the house before she got here, and sure enough, I couldn't find it, even though, we used the best technologies, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I figured the picture would be a sure thing. I thought, well, a photo, just go wander through the streets, and you would find it. But even though we put the best minds and technology on it, even to the point of Google Maps, apparently, I think all that might be left of that location is the fence.
That's right.
Because the house at this point, like you said, you were describing how it deteriorates.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go on Google Maps, and you can check the link below, because we're going to attach that link. It's you have to Google it on Google Maps in Japanese. So my wife did the translation, and we actually put the house number down, and Google Maps pinpointed the location of the house. So I was almost 100% guaranteed that I was going to find this house. And when I went out there on my site survey, I couldn't find the house. So I said, "Well, we're going to have to wait till Christine gets here, and then we'll find the house." But I went up and down that block looking for this type of configuration of the house, which is two windows onto the left of the door, and then one window to the right of the door. And I found houses that are similar to that, but we'll talk more about that as we talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
So Google Maps pinpoints the house at about a 1 o'clock position from the Fatema Gate Road.
Okay.
As you come down the Fatema Gate Road, it was at about the 1 o'clock position. So we started our search there.
Right.
And so what did you what did you find? Did you feel?
Well, I thought we might come across it. We were walking the alleys that were getting narrower and narrower, and I believe what has been built up around that place.
Yeah, what do you think about the roads?
Oh.
I mean, I drive a small car, right?
Right. But now they seem to be sidewalks. You're driving on sidewalks now.
Yeah.
They're so tiny. But we walked, and at this point, it just, it seems like it's time to come to our senses and figure that the house is a victim of new construction.
Right.
So much has been torn down. It's probably lost. But we think the fences are still there.
Right.
The concrete
The one thing we did find in that location was an empty lot with the old style walls that you see in the book here. You can see a circle if you look carefully, and you'll probably see it on the green screen. But there are, I guess that was a very popular style.
It was just a decorative top that they would put on cement block.
Okay, so it was cement block circles.
Right.
They were they're vintage walls.
Oh yeah, they're covered with moss and they're pretty beat up, so it could be the original fencing.
Mm-hmm.
So
we did find a lot with the walls, and so I think we could say mission accomplished and check that off your checklist for finding one of your homes.
Yeah. My bucket list.
Your bucket list, and once again we're looking at soldiering on and finding our homes. If you're an Okinawan brat and you have a home that you want to find, please contact CMXJ Japan and give us a house number and a general location. If you're a brat from the 60s or the 70s, we can probably find your house. But going back to the concrete construction, they usually put rebar in the concrete, and they use sand from the ocean. So you know how salt deteriorates rebar. After 50 years, the rebar kind of rusts and explodes out, and then the building has to come down because of safety reasons.
Right.
Because it doesn't
That's
have any
probably
steel
what
left.
happened.
Yeah. So I think that for us to find a house that's wow, how many years?
Well, definitely
now?
50 years. 50 years.
50 years
50
old.
plus.
50 plus, because
I
that
don't know
house
how
was
long
already
it was
built.
standing before we moved in.
Right.
Boy.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, once again, the book's called Soldiering On, Finding My Homes, and it talks about Army life in Okinawa way back in the 60s.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting study in social studies, society. Let's go on to your visit with Kubasaki, because you actually donated this book.
Yeah, what I did after I wrote it, I thought it would be really cool to have it on the shelf of the school library. So that was my goal today, to go over and take a hardcover to the media specialist so that you could put it on the shelf while books still exist.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance that some student might pick it up and check it out and decide to write his or her own book.
Right, yeah.
Because we have unique memories. We aren't, like the other civilian kids. I mean, we have a unique perspective.
That's right. That's right. I think military brat children, we have a wider perspective.
Oh, definitely.
And it certainly is, a lot of times it does cause some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Identity, am I really an American? Or at least for us mixed kids.
Right.
And those of us that have been overseas for such a long time.
Right.
But I really think that bring that book over there, and another military brat picking up and reading up on it, going, "Wow, this is Okinawa in the '60s." And
oh yeah.
they might come to
hopefully
realize.
It'll inspire them to write something of their own.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
I think for inspirational reasons, I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk about anything in Kubasaki in the book about that?
Oh yeah, I described Kubasaki as it was when I went there, and when we walked around today, it was great because we got to see the classrooms and the layout of the school, and not much has changed.
Oh yeah.
There are a couple of additional buildings along the perimeter, but the basic gym and the cafeteria, library, it's all the same.
Yeah, what did you call that type of roofing?
They always called it the French fry roof. Crinkle-cut French fries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so
It was a big treat back then.
one of the things I think about as far as military schools is that the kids are, so well disciplined, and I think that transfers from the military.
Right.
From their fathers.
Oh,
know,
yeah.
They're always very courteous.
Right.
I think it's not. I don't know about public schools in America. I've never lived in America really, but we don't have metal detectors and things like that. There's no
Security guards, those kinds of things. Yeah.
So I think the student life does bring in a culture shock when many of the brats go home to the States.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, this visit to. What did you think about the atmosphere of the school? How about that tree in the middle of the school?
Oh, it was incredible. A beautiful banyan tree that was just huge now. I probably didn't pay any attention to it back then.
Yeah, it's amazing how
those things wouldn't have caught my attention.
Right.
But now I pay attention to beautiful
now
trees.
Now that we're older, we have more appreciation
Yeah.
towards things, and more respect for things like that. The
yeah.
trees must have been as old as
Right.
the school was standing there.
Right. And there was this thing, they called it Senior Hill for years and years. And 5 years ago, when I came with the Uchinanchu group and our Kubasaki reunion crowd, we went over to Kubasaki High, and the last thing we did before we got back on the bus was to climb the hill and pose on the side of this hill called Senior Hill. Except this time they painted over the words, for the class of whatever.
Oh.
And it's so strange. Now it's just kind of a slab on a hill, and I don't know if it still has the same
tradition.
Right.
values.
So I never did get the full details on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a shame. We used to have in Taipei American School. We used to have a senior island,
okay,
we had an
so-
actual moat, and all the seniors would throw any junior class member that actually snuck up on the island.
Okay.
But
Strange.
yeah,
Okay.
did you guys push people off the hill or something?
I wouldn't do such a thing. No, I don't know what they really did. It's just that it was always there, and I suppose it's the same in every school. They've got something.
Yes. So traditions move on and change, and it's kind of sometimes it's a little sad to see that not everything is carried over.
Right, right.
We met
but it was nice getting back there.
About the visit this year. Actually, I got to videotape that, and I thought that was a pretty nice. It was my first visit to Kubasaki High School, and I was kind of impressed. I used to work at Kadena High School, so I kind of had an idea. Kadena High School seems to be newer than Kubasaki.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
So, some of the things that we older people think about the youth is that they don't realize that they're probably in the best and the happiest times of their life. Yeah, I think some of my fondest memories in life are before getting out and going to work.
Yeah.
Is in high school. So that's really nice of you to bring that book over there. In fact, you even talked to a boy about the book. And
some students seem very interested in the fact that the book was now in the library, so maybe it'll inspire him to write something. Yeah.
Also, too, I noticed that military students and the school was amazingly disciplined and very quiet. We were down the halls.
Yeah, it was like being in a library.
Right,
In the hallways.
You could only hear the teachers' voices, and it was really a nice atmosphere. I think military communities, military kids, students have a more disciplined life and things. Anyway, that was the Kubasaki visit. It was a very interesting visit. Oh. Totally forgot. At the last part of our visit, we went to the gym, right?
Oh, right. We ran into a woman who's been there for how long?
For 25 years.
Yeah, she came to teach, and Mrs. Butler, and she just never left.
That's right, Mrs.
She
Butler.
seemed very happy here.
And she's been here for 25 years. She
Yeah, it's
gave
hard
us
to
those
imagine.
thunder sticks that you see in the background.
Right.
And I guess they use them for cheerleading or something, and something we never had as kids. I mean,
No, I didn't even know what a thunder stick was.
Yeah, I thought it was,
Right.
So I thought it was they were making fun of somebody. Anyway, the book is called "Soldiering On: Finding My Homes: Memoirs of an Army Brat," and you can buy this book anywhere online. And if you are a military brat, once again, I believe that you're a more international person.
Right.
In Taiwan, we call ourselves third culture, and not really one culture or the other. And I think these kind of books lets you know that you are not alone in this world.
Right.
If you're an army brat, if you're you shouldn't be suffering from identity loss. You are an international person. You are American. You are Okinawan. You are who you think you are, and there are many more people like you. So once again, thank you so much for for CMXJ NiteLite's first interview.
Right. Well, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Come back to Okinawa if you can. And,
5 years.
And
Next Uchi Nanchu.
yeah, and then someday if I ever go back to the States, I'll come by and visit you guys too.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. So once again, Christine Kastner, and the book is Soldiering On: Finding My Homes. And while we didn't find her home this time, we did find a lot. We did find the wall located in the book, and so I think we did our best.
We did.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching CMX Japan NiteLite.